This is Ivory. Ivory is 120 today, but she doesn't look a day over 75. She had lived a long and fulfilling life, but how did she get to such an age? 120. Unfathomable. Ivory was born in a small town somewhere unimportant, to a father unknown to her and a selectively religious mother. Ivory was born the youngest of many children, too many for her father to want to stick around. He left before she was born. It was her mother's opinion that her father had left because of her, an opinion she voiced far too often. The neighbourhood gossip suggested that he left before she was conceived, but how is this possible? Ivory never seemed to get along with her siblings. She always preferred to be alone. She would walk for hours through the garden, looking at the plants, the insects, gazing into the clouds and dreaming she was somewhere else. Ivory loved flowers. She loved to collect them, and she loved to preserve them by pressing them in her large family Bible. Ivory's mother hated her doing this. It was disrespectful in her eyes. In her opinion, Ivory was very disrespectful and needed to be taught a lesson. Ivory was taught many lessons in her young life, lessons she thought she didn't deserve. This caused a great change within Ivory. As Ivory grew, her wanderings took her further and further away from home. One day during her wanderings, she met someone special. She was the happiest she'd ever been. They were married in the spring. Ivory, thanks to her mother's religious ways, believed it until death do us part, but the happiness ended with the honeymoon. Sometimes Ivory did things he didn't like, and he would punish her for it. He said it was because he loved her and he wanted her to change. One day Ivory did change. It was a Tuesday, and everybody knows Tuesdays is steak and egg night, but Ivory had prepared beans on toast. He did not like this. On Wednesday, Ivory made him pie. Now a widow, Ivory was free to do what she liked. People in her small town began to become suspicious as they hadn't seen her husband for a long time. She thought it might be best if she were to leave for a while. This gave her the opportunity to travel and see the world. First, Ivory went to Egypt. It was here she studied the preservation techniques of yesteryear. Next, she went to Japan, where she camped out in the Akagahara forest at the base of Mount Fuji. She met so many people here, just hanging around. After some time in Japan, she went to French Polynesia. Ivory wanted to learn how to shrink the heads of her enemies. In Italy, Ivory learnt the secrets of DIY home decor from the Cappuccini monks. Her final stop before returning home was India. Ivory didn't know why she wanted to go to India. She just did. In India, she met her second great love, Akshat. She married him. He took her back to his village. They were happy until one day, when Akshat said the wrong thing. That night, Ivory made him Vindaloo. Ivory couldn't bear India without Akshat, and the villagers were asking too many questions, so she returned home, to her unimportant town. Ivory had spent the most part of her life travelling the world. She had come home far, far older than when she had left. However, she did not look her age. It was then Ivory realised her special diet was keeping her young. It didn't take long for people to start going missing. The first was the homeless man who lived in the church. The next was her snoopy neighbour. Ivory was never big on collecting souvenirs while she was travelling, but found great joy in collecting souvenirs from her new hobby. And she was also working on a cookbook. Sometimes people would get too close to finding out Ivory's secret. They had to be dealt with. The years passed fast. However, Ivory never looked a day over 75. What is her secret?